and welcome to episode number 20 in a year gardening, following my journey through the garden in the year of 2020. I'm just putting a little hole in the ground here now, so I've marked out where the head of the stream and everything is going to go. So I'm digging a hole to put this beautiful little baby here, which is a Canary Island palm, and that's going to be living here right at the head of the stream. Got a lot of things to show you today, especially the developments where we're going to be putting the brickwork in and everything else for the stream head, and putting in the header tank to hold the water here. We're going to be showing you some of the lovely flowers that we've got growing, the developments in the front garden, and a lot of stuff with the courtyard garden this time, how that's been going on. So without any further ado, let's go straight through to the courtyard garden and crack on with episode 20. Well, welcome back to the courtyard garden, which is really taking a nice shape now. So we've got the slabs laid out in position. They're not fixed yet, but they're all in position. And the plants are growing quite nicely. Sunflowers coming on well. Strawberries are putting out runners. We've had some problems though, and this is from caterpillars. So one of these lovely pots that I planted up here, perfect one day, next day completely stripped and covered in little green and yellow hairy caterpillars. So it's not all joy when you're doing your gardening, but we've got a lot of plants growing here. So we've got two different varieties of tomatoes, we've got courgettes, we've got cucumbers, we've got our strawberries, and they're just about coming to an end now. We've got broad beans, we've got climbing beans, we've got peas, and we've also got quite an array of flowers. So at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hanging baskets. There will be another 2. There's one going to go into the corner behind me, another one here, so we're going to have 6 hanging baskets hanging around the area. And as the seasons change, we will change what we have in the baskets. Obviously we will have to change the compost, but we won't waste that compost. That'll go down into the vegetable garden and we'll use that there. Now over the next couple of days I'm finally going to be able to get the adhesive down underneath the artificial grass. That has been picking up a little bit in the wind, so we've got that held down slightly, but I'm very pleased. We've got a couple of little planting pockets in the slabs. It's nice and smooth and level, great for when Julie comes and putting the washing out, and a very comfortable place to sit in the sunshine. One thing I am going to do, I've got the water butt. If you remember, we put that in well, way back earlier this year, and I've decided I'm going to get a second water butt, and I'm going to mount it where I've got a pot of tomatoes at the moment, but I'm going to mount it next to the existing water butt, stick an overflow pipe through into the next one, so if one water butt fills up, we're not going to waste water. It will feed into the second water butt. So we're near completion. What I am going to do along the wall facing me now, which is the house wall, I'm going to put a little picket fence against the wall just to give it that sort of country feel. So from the courtyard garden, let's go down into the back garden just to do a little bit of maintenance. Well, here I am with my Canary Island palm, and I've made a decent hole here in the ground. I've made it deeper than I need to go, and I've made it a square hole. And that is to give the roots a chance to work out rather than go round and round in a pot, and also to allow me to put some nutrients into the hole. So I'm just going to start off by piling a little bit of multi-purpose compost into the bottom there. Then I've got some rose and shrub fertiliser, just a small handful to sprinkle into the bottom of the hole. Let's just see what I like the height. So I just need to build it up just a little bit more, and I don't mind how much I have to build it up. This is giving those roots a good chance to establish themselves and a better chance for the tree to grow nicely. That's wonderful. I'm happy with that. Now let's just tap this out of the pot, and then hopefully there it comes. Now you can see we've got a reasonable amount of root on here, but it is going round, so I'm just going to loosen a couple of pieces of that out of the pot here, which is lovely. Just encourage it to spread out. Now this is going to form a really crucial part of the head of the stream. Now I have got 2 of these, and these have come from an online garden centre called U Garden, and very, very pleasingly there was an offer that was running. I mean, I only found out about the garden centre via the offer, which was in the Daily Mirror the other Saturday, and they were doing 2 of these plants for just £14.99, and I'm sure you agree with me, they're a very healthy looking plant and will be a great addition to the garden. So we'll get that worked in nicely there, and I'm going to fill the entire void that I've dug with this compost, and then the plant can then work itself through into the horrible clayey stuff that's around it. This will give it a really good chance to establish itself in the ground. Now I'm going to, as I always do when planting a tree, keep the centre lower than the surrounding ground, and this is just about it. So I'm going to keep that there. Now, because when we get the rainfall and we've got a slope on the garden, I don't want that water to disappear. I want some of the water to trap in here and stay with the tree. Now I'm going to give this a really, really, really good water now, get it soaked in and make sure it's really, really happy. One down, another one to go. Got to start building this as well. Oh well, no rest for the wicked. Okay, so well, I've got the first 1.5–2 meters of the sand and cement laid in here now, and I've got to now sort out the fall, and this involves putting in a reservoir head at the top. Now I'm going to use a 45 litre container. It doesn't have to hold a lot of water, it has to hold some so that we can get a regular flow, and then the pipe that comes from the pump will come in there and run the flow down the stream. So that's going to be a job that I'm going to be starting very, very soon, but I really want to get the rest of this rendering done. This section here is still very, very wet, and once I've actually got the rendering down with the trowel, then I'm just giving it a brush coat, and then I'm touching it up where the liner comes through. But generally I'm very, very pleased with the effect it's going to have. Now what we're going to be doing at the end is we're going to be using some expanding foam around the top edge, and we're going to be putting some pea shingle on there, and there'll be pea shingle through the bottom of the stream as well. This will give it a very natural effect, and the plants around the edge, and this is going to have a bank up here with some lovely planting in it, and you're going to love seeing the planting. Well, I'm going to love it, you might not, but I'm going to love it, and it's going to look, to me, superb. And over the side, just 3 meters away from me, we're going to have a raised deck where we can sit and we can look at the stream and we can enjoy it. That is going to be the great thing for me. So we've started, and I'm pleased with the effect that it's giving at the moment, and we're going to see how it goes once we've got the concrete run through for the first time. We will then see how the flow goes, and then we may adjust in certain areas to make the sound right, because the sound of water is what you put the water in the garden for. So this is where we are now. Let's move on to the next thing. So what I've been doing here is I built a small retaining wall, I suppose you would call it, out of some old bits of broken rubble and things, and just mortared it all together to level out the base where the bridge is going to go over, and then putting up a small earth mound which is going to replicate a riverbank just behind it. Okay, so now I have set the other side to a level. I've done a level across the stream and a level side to side, and then I've made that up with some bits of old broken concrete and smashed up brick and things, and now I'm going to start to bed that in and then build through. Happy days. Well, you can see now we've moved quite a lot of soil, and we're building up the bank along here. Got our Canary Island palm there, and we've got another one just up here, and they're going to grow really well. So the timber is ordered to make the bridge, and I've just got to level out the ground on the far side now to get everything sorted out. So yeah, all looking good, moving forwards. Well, now I'm starting to build the little boardwalk that's going to go round the pond. Got to get this in place before I actually put the liner and everything in. So I've set this to a level, got the timbers cut for the first section, and all I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put a little bit of the concrete mix that I've just made up into the holes to just give that some support. So we're just going to pop some down in here. Make sure that's round all of the sides of this leg. Get that a good support down there. And then I'm going to do the same on this one over this side. And this is going to give me the first bit of support. Get that wedged in down here. Then once we've got these set solid tomorrow, then I'll be putting some weed suppressing membrane down once I've levelled the ground underneath. Just get this nicely down here, tap that down a little bit. It's not going to be used very much, it's just to give me access to the cold frame area, and also if I've got to do any work with the pump or the cleaning of the pond, I've got a solid place to work from. So we get that in there. We're going to let that go off, and then we'll continue. This board is going to come right the way down. It's going to run around about 2.4 metres, and then 1.8 metres across behind the pond to give me a nice solid area around it. This is set perfectly level at the moment, and it's level across all of the angles as well, so I'm very happy with that. And well, that's a start. All carries on, all work to do, all a bit of fun. Well, I've just been spending some time deadheading some of the plants, and a lot of these cranes bills are on there now, so we're just clearing these up, tidying, and I'm giving them quite a haircut at the moment, taking all of this off. It'll give us another season of flowering in a couple of weeks' time, and I so look forward to that, so that when we're ready to take the watercourse down the stream here, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. So we clear that up. I've got a couple of bits to do behind here, but generally the garden is now almost there. We've got to still build the decking area for our extra seating, and this is looking lovely. I have made a decision though about the front garden, and that is that I'm going to be planting a lot more of these beautiful roses in there next year. Talking to the front garden, let's just have a quick look at the wildflower area. Well, I thought we'd come into the front garden and have a quick look at the wildflowers. Now, a lot of them have gone over from their very, very best, but I'm looking to leave these to go to seed, so they will self-seed for next year. We'll probably add a few more seeds to bring it on, but the great thing is the hoverflies, the bees, they are loving it out here. The fact that we've let the clover grow through the grass, and they are just thoroughly enjoying themselves, popping around, picking up the nectar and things. So let's just take a look at the wildflower plants as they look now. So here we are, wildflowers. Now there's a bit of a mix here, and a lot, as I say, have now gone over and they've finished looking at their best, but there are others that still look stunning. And the heads on some of these plants, whilst they have finished being the wonderful, glorious plants they were, still have their own inherent beauty, and I love them. And once these go to seed and start self-seeding, I'll be very happy. Whilst we're here, we'll just have a quick look at the little border we planted a couple of weeks ago. Here we are, just sitting in here. So the fuchsias are actually coming on very, very well, and you can see the echinopsis there. So they're all doing nicely. The night scented stocks have come on very, very well. So this is still building on to a nice border for the rest of the year. Over the back, the buddleia in the corner over there is still attracting some lovely butterflies and bees as well. All in all, happiness exudes. So I think it's time we went and summed up what we've gone through today and give you an idea of what we're going to be doing in the next couple of shows. Well, that brings us to the end of episode number 20 and the end of July, and July is going out with some lovely warm weather, which I think we needed. It's been a little bit of a mixed month, but lovely way to end the month. Now we've been through a lot today. We've gone through a lot of the stream building, been able to look at the courtyard garden and the front garden, and I'm very, very pleased with where we are at this time of year. It's really, really taking shape. In the next episode, we'll install the bridge over the stream. We'll finish off the rendering. We'll install the stones in the stream to give it that natural look. And hopefully I will get the courtyard garden finished. Lots and lots of things to do. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that the changes that the garden is going through are quite major, and they're going to give a little bit of a different ambiance to the garden. So once again, it just leaves me to say thank you very much for joining me on my journey through 2020 in the garden. I hope you're all safe and I hope you're all well. Just leaves me to just grab a small glass and this week I have a lovely Rioja. So I just leave you by saying stay safe, stay well, look after each other, be kind, and cheers.